So you got really good at tracking your macros. You track your food every single day. You got it down to a science. But you're sick of it. You're sick of every meal, putting it in MyFitnessPal, every meal, tracking your macros, every meal, you gotta record. It's a hassle. Nobody likes doing it. Is it good? Yeah, it helps you get a basis. It helps you understand what you need to do to get the job done. But do you want to do it for the rest of your life? Hell no. I don't want to track for the rest of my life, and I don't even track anymore. And I still make progress. But how do you do that? Well, you know what happens after you track for a little bit? You understand portion control. You understand how your body feels when it eats too much or eats too little. You understand what has high calories, what has low calories, and what you need to do to meet your goals. So let's dive into it. Let's say Joe Schmo, been tracking for 2 months. You know every meal, you know how much your chicken breast has, you know how much your tuna salad, your Chick-fil-A meal, you know how many calories these have, right? Okay, cool, cool. Now, if you know how many calories these have and you've been doing this consistently, you know how many calories you need to eat in the day, right? You need, let's say, 1,500. And Chick-fil-A is 500, this tuna salad's another 500, and then your breakfast or your bedtime meal is another 500, and you're done. So if you know what these are, then you don't need to track them anymore because they're already in your head. They don't have to be perfect. Stop obsessing over perfection, guys. We're going to say this over and over again. Perfection is the counter to good, because if you're trying to be perfect all the time, you're not trying to be good all the time, because you're overzealous about being perfect, and then you fall off because you're like, I didn't do it perfectly, so screw it. No, you want to be good consistently, because it provides results. So if you're good most of the time, staying on your calorie budget, well, then you're good, right? You don't need to track exactly, weigh it out. I'm weighing out my food, my pasta, to make sure it's 40 grams, because if it's 41 grams, I'm pretty sure my house is catching on fire and all my progress is gone and I should just give up, right? No, 40, 41 grams, cool. Stay consistent with that. Now, you know the portions already, right? You got those portions down. You know how many calories they have because you did track. I'm not saying never track. It's really important to track early on to start understanding portion sizes, calorie limit, macro ranges, your caloric floor, and whatnot. But you can't do this forever because it's just a mental stress that we don't need. And that's where knowing and guesstimating your caloric limit comes in. That's where intuitive eating comes in. That's where mindset tricks come in, right? Are you used to eating too much? Well, chances are you're eating on a big plate. How about you put that same food or less food on a smaller plate? You're going to eat less. Statistically, people that eat on smaller plates eat less food because there's less food to put on a smaller plate. Eating slower. Perfect example. If you eat too fast, your stomach doesn't have time to let out the proper hormones to tell you, whoa, 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 I'm full. Okay? Eat slower. Talk. Drink some water in between. Water fills up. Yes, it might not be ideal for digestion, but we're not trying to, maximize and minimize everything to be perfect. We just want to stay good. Is it going to get you a little fuller? Yeah, sure. Do we need to get fuller? No. If you don't want to drink the water with the food, that's fine. Just eat your one portion. Don't go for seconds. Set one meal. You're good, you eat it, just get up. Get up and go. Eat your one meal, and then if you're still hungry later, you can go. But you need to understand your hunger cues, when you're actually hungry and when you're bored. Are you bored just sitting there? And because you're staring at the ceiling at work, you're like, I want some nuts. I want some candy. I want something, right? That's mainly because you're bored. So understanding these hunger cues, understanding that you generally don't need to snack throughout the day, right? That's why water is so important, water intake, because it kind of curbs that little hunger sensation that you might get from being bored. So what I'm trying to say here is you don't need to track everything. You don't need to be perfect on everything. You don't need to weigh everything. You just need to listen to your body, right? Yes, if you're going to try to become like this elite bodybuilder, you might need to track your macronutrients for a while, especially when you're cutting down. But if you're just sustaining, if you got to your limit, right? You're like, damn, I look good. I feel good. You know what? I'm happy with myself. Well, it's time to deload from those calorie count. It's time to deload from weighing everything. It's time to enjoy yourself, right? Yeah, you might splurge on the weekend every now and then, but as long as you're staying consistent through the weekdays, day by day, not going crazy on the weekends, or knowing when to cut back a little bit, and let's say, I know I'm going to go out on the weekend, right? I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go to the club. I'm going to party. I'm going to whatever. Well, you know what? I might not have such a big dinner because I want to reserve calories. I'm going to reserve my gas tank, right? You want to think of your calories like a full gas tank. And the more you eat, the less gas you get. So you want to reserve some fuel for that crazy night. And you didn't need to track that. You just needed to guesstimate, you know? Oh, I'm going to go out and have like 5 beers. Well, you know, 5 beers is like 600 calories. My meal for dinner is about 800 calories. How about I eat like 300 calories? Yeah, I might be a little more hungry than usual, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to drink a lot and do whatever when I'm out. And it's all going to be a net zero because you're prepared, right? Now, when you're out with people, you go out to the restaurant. Do you need to track all the time? No. Should you intuitively eat? Yes. Should you feel pressured to clean your plate? No. You know it's a great tactic? When you eat out, right, your intuitive eating side comes out. And you're eating slowly. We're not scarfing everything down. You know, it's not a race. You're not a world's fastest food eater. You're just a normal person at the Cheesecake Factory right now. And you get, you know, if you go to the Cheesecake Factory, if you guys ever been there or any restaurant, they give you these huge family portions. And you look at it and you're like, oh, I am so hungry. I am going to eat this all. You get half of it done and you're like, whew, I am full. What do? Well, sometimes a lot of people, including myself, are like, I got to finish this. I don't want to just leave it here. But
Charge
what
complete.
we don't usually think is, wait, I can take this home and eat it tomorrow. I can take this home and eat it later. I don't have to eat this well. Now, this lunch or dinner could be my breakfast tomorrow, and I can save those calories. That huge portion that I would have ate, and then I would have still been hungry regardless later, because that's how digestion works. No matter how much you eat, you will eventually get hungry again in a matter of hours. Well, you saved that. You didn't get overstuffed. You didn't go crazy over your limit. Your body told you, whoa, 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 I'm not really hungry anymore. And when your body tells you that, that's a good time to put the fork down, put the spoon down, take a seat back, and save that food for later. Because you don't need to eat everything. You should listen to your body. Are you hungry in the morning? Eat. Don't curb that appetite with coffee or meal suppressants. Eat because your body is telling you to eat. When you're sitting there fiddling your thumbs an hour later, though, and you're bored, you have to be mindful of this. If you're bored and just sitting there and you get hungry, most of the time you're not hungry. You're just bored and you want to do something. And food, for a lot of people, is something to do. But if you stay consistent and you know your 3 or 4 meals, whatever your schedule is that you made for yourself works. If you want your first meal, okay, then your second meal, you're like, okay, it's time to eat again. Your body will get used to these cues. Your body will get used to this intuitive eating because you're eating when you're hungry. You're eating on a schedule. And once you get your body on a schedule, you won't have to worry about tracking. You won't have to worry about how many calories to eat. You won't have to worry about maintaining. As long as you're consistent, you'll be okay. You'll stay in shape. And whenever you want to cut back down and get super shredded or whatever, you want to get super lean for the beach, then you can implement the calories again. But for the most part, when you're at where you're happy at, you don't need to track that much. You just go along and learn or use what you learned through this whole process to go about your daily life like a regular human being.